Hello everyone, welcome back to Chill Dill Trades, where I make it my job to analyze the market so that you know what's going on. In today's video, we're going to be covering both the IWM, which is the Russell 2000, as well as update on the stocks I've covered the last couple weeks. To give it an update, some of them have pulled back a little bit from their runs recently, and so we're going to figure out where they might be headed over the next few weeks. If you're here and you haven't subbed yet, please hit that sub button and join the squad. We're over 100 subs, which is pretty crazy. So again, I appreciate it so much, everyone who's hit the subscription button. And if you haven't, join, because there's a lot of great content coming every single day. Sorry everyone, I got something in my throat. No jokes. Okay, so the first chart we're going to cover is the IWM, which is the Russell 2000, divided by the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ. And so the reason I'm looking at this graph is because I want to get an idea of how small cap growth has been compared in performance to large cap tech, like the Facebooks, Googles, those kinds of the world. And so, sorry about that. And so what we've seen is we've seen this downward action lately. And so what that tells me is things like Facebook, Google's, those have performed much better than the stocks in the Russell 2000. And a lot of those stocks are these high growth names that we like to trade, or the names that we like to trade are correlated with this index. You know, the PLTRs, the plugs, the NNDMs, all the ones I've been covering. So that's why I want to cover this, because we're kind of at a crossroads for, I would say, small cap. My prediction or my thoughts on the market is I think we're going to continue to see tech probably perform over maybe the next couple weeks, but we're probably going to have a market correction in the next month. And so in preparation of that, we need to figure out what we want to do with the stocks that we're not willing to hold through a minor correction in the market, say 10%. And so right now what we see is we've hit significant support this last day, which is really important. And so let me bring up RSI actually. I think I had this on the chart and it's not here anymore for some reason. Cool. So RSI, it's kind of been in this bearish phase, I would say this whole time on this ratio, but we're testing this really significant support. And so when we go back, we try to peak out in the past back here and failed. And then we hit the support multiple times, and we've kind of been creating, I would say, this downward triangle that it's been following. And so it's going to be important opening up next week, because we're either going to see this breakout to the upside, and we'll see those small cap names that we trade come back and test this breakout point and this trend line, or if we break down further, we're going to see either the small cap names go sideways while the Facebooks of the world continue to move up higher over the next couple of weeks. And the reason I look at this first is because kind of this pattern in this chart we've seen in all of the names that we've been following. So PLTR, we ran up, you know, and then lately, obviously it's a short time frame, we're pulling back to this really important range of support. When we look at it, see how far, 3 minutes in, okay, not too bad. We're in this really big range of support for multiple reasons. So one is we've broke below this trend line, which is significant. And so whenever we break a trend line, there's a couple things I want to look at. One is how we're looking on RSI. So it's still looking bullish, but if we see this kind of come down some more and hit the top and come down this way, then we're entering a bear phase for the market again. What we really want to do is come back up this way, and we'll have a couple more weeks of upside for PLTR. But as I mentioned, we're in significant range, I would say from 23-ish to the current price is where the support's going to be if we pull down any more. And the reason I say is we have a lot of topping going out in this range. See all those candles? And that's the price that we closed out today on Friday. And so it's important to hold this support. If we don't hit the support, we're probably going to break through the 100 MA and go to this 50 MA or this other support line around 22.75. So it could still be another $1.50 downside if we can't hold this support range. But if we hold it and we start going in a green week next week, which, cross our fingers, that's what I want for all of us, because I know a lot of you are holding this, then we'll probably easily see a break of this trend line, but then we're going to need to break this new trend line. When we zoom out from the top, we're creating a new downward trend line because we had a peak here. And so we're going to want to see this stock pop out sooner than later, because I do think in the next few weeks we're going to start the correction in the overall market, which could, pull these smaller names down 10 to 20% for a couple weeks. So that's PLTR update. Let's go to the next one. Similar chart to NNDM. So again, we're at this really significant area of support. We have the 200 simple moving average, and then we have the 50-day at this 740 kind of range. And so we have really big support. Again, when we kind of go through like this, we see a ton of beginning and end of candles in this range, and that's the price we've been testing. I personally bought into this, unfortunately, on Thursday, so I'm down a couple percentage points. But if we see a breakout on Monday, I'll probably be adding to my position, because if we hold the support similar to PLTR, we could do something like this and see if we can break out to the upside over the next, I would say, 1 to 3 weeks for maybe a 10%-ish move. So that's kind of what I'm going to want to see NNDM hold on the downside. If we do pull back a little bit more, we're probably going to have another really significant range around this 736 to 725 range. And there's a couple reasons. The first one, when we zoom in, we have the 50-day SMA, as well as, again, lots of accumulation and bottom of candles in this range. And so a lot of support either where we're at or down another 60 cents to 50 cents at that next support range. Those are the two support ranges. And we're going to want that to happen quick if it does, because when we look at RSI, we are testing the bottom of the bullish phase for the stock. So again, always look at RSI. If it comes down like this, test above and breaks down lower, then we're starting more of a bear trend already for NNDM. Let's go to the next one, plug. I'm kind of a broken record at this point, but we're kind of seeing the same thing, a little bit less with plug. So plug has yet to break support. So there's two scenarios here. It's plug is held up better than the rest, or plug hasn't broke down compared to the others yet. And so again, we're in this really significant kind of resistance, a little bit higher than the other two that we covered, but still a lot of candles in this range up here as well as down here. And that's going to be the two areas. So we have basically from 3230 to 3150, we have a lot of candles in that range, which means there's going to be a lot of support. And we're going to want to see that hold and bounce up to the upside, mostly like all the other stocks. Again, broken record, but we want to see this hold or break below and come back above on the RSI to continue this bullish phase over the next 3 weeks or so. All these trades, unless you're willing to hold through a potential correction at the end of July into August or September, you're going to want to sell out of these on any strength. That's my personal opinion. It's your own trading strategy. I'm not your financial advisor, but those are kind of the things that I'm looking at for the market. So we need to hold this range. If not, we'll come down to probably the 3150-ish range, because we do have the 50-day EMA, which is pretty significant there. But then we also are testing the bottom of this upward trend line. So look at that for next week. But fingers crossed, we'll see a green week next week on this pullback and have the smaller tech names move alongside the Facebooks and Googles of the world. I think we have one more chart. We're going to cover SOFI. Very similar to the PLTR and NNDM chart. So we've kind of broke below. I don't think I drew the line. Let me draw it real quick just so we can see it. So, we had pretty big, we were following a trend line and broke it down. We even back tested it, which is not a good sign. And we broke down, sorry, I keep burping. We broke down further to the downside. So, like I keep saying, we're at really big resistance or support for all these stocks, and we really need it to hold here. If we don't see it hold here, then the volume is probably going to push these stocks lower into deeper support, and you don't want that to happen. Best case scenario is we hold this range here, coming into Monday, come back up, test these SMAs, break out of this trend line, and hopefully do something like this, either that trend line or that trend line. But like I said, we're in this really important support zone, so we don't want these stocks to break down more. If any of the stocks I just covered break down more, you're going to want to start considering your decision making is if it's time for you to sell and take the loss or take your profits if you have them, or double down if you think they're either going to consolidate or hold and potentially move up a little bit higher to the upside. And then maybe in a week or two, hopefully you're averaging down, pull down your average price, and you hopefully have made something if these stocks try to start to move 10 to 20% at most over the next couple weeks. So all those are all the stocks I wanted to cover today. 10-minute video, so not too long for all you guys to digest. But please let me know if there's any other stocks you want me to cover, either doing update videos on or doing brand new videos. I want this channel to be about you guys and for you to get value out of it. So please in the comments write whatever stocks you have questions about, and I'll do videos on them. Exciting, if you're watching this, you made it this far. I am doing a Twitch stream tomorrow night, which is Saturday. Me and my buddy do a Twitch stream every Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday, we talk about market news, what's been happening, and then while we're playing video games. So we kind of merge those two interests of ours together. And then Sunday night, and that's at 7 p.m. West Coast time. On Sunday, we'll be doing a Sunday free-for-all where you can jump in the chat, tell me any stock you want me to chart, and I'll do what I do here live on stream with you and talk about what I'm seeing and potential prices that are support or resistance. That's all I have for you. Thanks if you made it this far for watching the entire thing. It is appreciated. Sub if you haven't yet, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.